morning. Happy Monday, everybody. Hope everyone is doing well. Hope everyone had a great weekend. So today, I am going to, as soon as I fix my clothes, because my seatbelt's getting all wrinkled. So this morning, actually, a Facebook friend of mine had posted something, and it read, Learn to Lose, and it's by Yvonne something. Yvonne something G, I can't remember. But anyway, and it was basically saying that this is one of the most important things to learn, is learn to lose. And I'm going to assume what this person means by this, because you know when people have all these quotes, they have different meanings because they have different perspectives. But I would say that the reason why this person is saying this is because if you can learn to lose, if you can learn, and it's really not learning to lose, it's learning to accept loss. That's what I believe this is meaning. Learn to accept loss, because if you can learn to accept it, then you won't be bogged down by it, by its presence. You won't be put in a position where you're feeling less than great, because you understand that this experience of hold on a second. I left a little later, so I'm hitting traffic. When you accept when you accept loss, it puts you in a place where you have power, you have control over yourself. But when you experience something and you don't accept what is happening in the moment, you lose your power, because you're holding on to what you wanted to happen, which was to win. And this is how people get so discombobulated and out of character and not able to push forward. This is why they're stuck in that place, because at some point that loss that they experienced, they couldn't accept, and they're fighting against it even though it happened. And it's this resistance, and it's all resistance. Understand, all resistance keeps us in a state of stagnation. And I need some chapstick. 1 second. These lips are dry. Our humidity out here is so low. You get out of the shower and you're already dry. There's not even need to use a towel. I put coconut oil on. That stuff dried out on my face. I'm like, what's going on? Hold on a second. It forced me to clean my fountain, so I'm going to have some humidity in the house. Anyway, enough of that. So, resistance to anything causes stagnation, because when you're resistant to something that happens, what happens to you is like you can't let go of the idea that you should have won. Winning was your goal, and that didn't happen, and it's such a disappointment, and now you're just stuck. And this is one of the reasons why people cannot move forward, because they cannot let go of what happened, and they're holding on to what should have happened, but because it didn't happen, they're just completely distraught. And this is why this saying is, learn to lose, learn to lose, learn to lose. What it really means is, what I'm understanding this to be is, what it really is trying to convey is, learn to accept loss. Just learn to accept it. Because if you accept it, you can put it aside and move on. It's when you can accept something that you hold on to it. It is within your being. It's in your current consciousness. It's in your awareness. And because it's in your awareness, for probably the rest of your life, if you don't let go of it, it will hold you back. It will hold you back. How many of you out there have experienced something in life and you feel like you were given a bad hand? You didn't have the same opportunity as others. And because you didn't have the same opportunity as others, you feel you can't move forward because you don't have what they had. It's the same thing. You're holding on to the resistance of it's almost, you're holding on to the resistance of accepting what you have been given. And this is disallowing you to move forward, to get or to have or to achieve that which you desire. Your desires are all there. We all have desires. We all have dreams and aspirations. But sometimes we can't reach those things. We can't reach those goals. We cannot have those desires manifest because we're holding so much resistance. And it's the resistance to what actually happened that's keeping us stagnated, that continues what we've been experiencing our whole lives. So if you were born poor, or I should say you were never born poor, but if you were born into a family who was struggling, then you have to experience that struggle. Accept that struggle. Accept that that's what has happened to you. That is what your experience was and probably still is. And then say to yourself, well, just because I was born into this and someone else created this environment for me does not mean that I have to sustain this environment. But as long as you hold on to it, the resistance, you will sustain it. Without even trying, you will sustain it. It doesn't matter how much money you make, you will sustain the feeling that you have been feeling your entire life, starting with your childhood. And it's the same feelings your parents experience, which is why you're experiencing it, because it's soul-to-soul transference. That's all that it is. But what I wanted to really get into because of this topic is understand, I kind of hinted at it, but understand when you're losing, you're not losing. What you're doing when you accept what you would consider a loss, what you are doing is accepting the lesson. Accept the lesson. Accept the reason why what is happening is happening. Go a bit further and have a deeper understanding as to why you're experiencing what you're experiencing. Why are you experiencing the loss? Because what you consider a loss is a great gift. Everything on this planet is a gift. Every experience is a gift. When you see an accident, it is a gift to you to show you what happens when you do X, Y, and Z. If there is a car accident, and someone gets hurt or someone gets killed, understand that that is a gift. A gift to who? A gift to all those who are around, who have heard, who have watched, who have experienced this experience. This gift helps you to make better decisions for yourself. That's what the gift is. A gift of understanding. A gift of being compassionate. That's what this is. Why in the world did I get in this lane? This is a gift. It is a gift to learn patience, which I lack a lot of the time. Patience is something that I really need to work on, but it is a gift. I mean, if you watch my videos, you know how people just love to jump in front of me when I'm driving. I'm like, look, I have places to go. I need to be places, things to do, and people just like, just right in front of me. Because I need to learn patience. I need to learn patience. There's a reason why I'm trying to get to work in a more rapid manner, is because I left home late. So of course I'm going to get irritated with that person in front of me who jumped in front of me, because I don't want to accept the fact that I didn't do something right this morning so that I can do the things that I wanted to do. I had a schedule this morning and I did not follow it. It wasn't priority at some point. Other things were priority. And that's why I fell behind. But I can't really be annoyed at the person in front of me, because had I left on time, it would be okay if someone got in front of me and was going slow, because I would have anticipated anything that happened on the road, or that happens on the road. So again, if I held on, if I was angry, like there's some angry people out there on the road, get out of my way, you asshole, honk, 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 you know, and they're cursing everybody out. I need to turn some air on, hold on a second. Cursing everybody out because they're running late, because things are happening that are outside of their control, but not understanding that everything that's happening is within their control, because it's the things that are within the soul that is causing the event to happen. Trust me. Most of my karmic experiences, or karma, is due to lack of patience. I'm always being taught or being given a lesson to be more patient with people, because growing up I was not. I was very intolerant of people who very intolerant. I remember a supervisor said, she said, you know what? She said, you know what, Zach, not everybody is as savvy and as quick as you. And that was the first time anybody has ever said anything to me like that. I think it was like in 26, I think I was. And no one's ever said that to me. No one has ever said that to me. And it helped a lot, but I oftentimes forget.
There's a disabled vehicle ahead.
I oftentimes forget because I'm in the moment. And obviously that means that it's something that's within my mind, but it's not something that's within my soul. Of course, I can be patient with people who seek my help. I'm usually patient when people are asking for advice or guidance, but when that isn't happening, patience isn't present. And so I have to ask myself, why is that? Why am I patient in some instances and not in others? It's something that I have to ask myself and work on. And it's easy for me to say now in the moment. That's something that I need to I need to do, but it doesn't mean it's going to translate into action. It doesn't mean that it's going to translate into something that is meaningful and something that is going to help me correct the lack or the void that dwells within me. That's not what that means. Because as I've said before, you can know something in your mind, but not be able to execute it, not be able to live it. It's one thing to speak the truth. It's another thing to live the truth. And that's what I try to do, is I try to live the truth. But in order to do that, you have to be completely aware of what you're doing. Just like a moment ago when the car, and I was like, why did I get behind this car? Well, there's a reason why. Number one, it's a bad choice. But the thing is, I was aware of it. I was aware of it when it happened. And that's the first start. That's the first step. That is the start. What you're doing, being aware, being conscious of what you're doing, how it's affecting you, and then try to find out why that is. And I can tell you from a childhood's perspective, or looking back on my childhood, I should say, people were very impatient with me. Very impatient with me. My mother was very impatient with me. And so I know where that comes from. So if I'm patient with others, that means I have to look at the times that people were impatient with me. And that's the painful part. Because then you have to look, or I would have to look, at how I felt when people were impatient with me. And that's something that I haven't really focused on. I haven't really looked at. And that's something that has to be done, or else these crazy people are going to keep jumping in front of me. They're going to keep jumping in front of me, and I'm going to keep being annoyed. And the reason why I would be annoyed is because I'm not looking at the truth of what really happened during my childhood. I was not allowed to, I wasn't allowed to make mistakes at all. This is why, people would say, oh, he's such a well-behaved boy, and oh my gosh, he's so this and so that. And I'm like, you don't know, lady. You do not know. Say nothing, do nothing. Say nothing, do nothing. That's what well-behaved looks like to an adult. Say nothing, do nothing. Don't have an opinion, don't talk, don't do this, don't explore. That's what that means. And so when I look at my childhood, I wasn't allowed to do those things. And so if I wasn't allowed to make a mistake. And that's the lack of patience that my mother had. Is she didn't have patience for a child growing up and exploring and discovering. She didn't have patience for that. So I had to be something that she wanted me to be, which was not a child, which is why I grew up fast. But anyway, that's like I said, that's the reason. And so I have to identify, I've already identified it, but I have to feel it. I have to get in touch with that. But that's not going to happen until I have a desire to do that. Until I have a true desire to actually feel those feelings, nothing is going to change. But anyway, off of that topic and back to what I was talking about, anything, what's kind of related, because anything that happens to you is a lesson. It is a gift. But it is something that we have to look into further. It's not enough to say, oh, this is, why this has happened. Lady, this is why this is happening, and then close the book. That's not enough. The mind is, knowing it in the mind is not enough. It will never be enough. Ever, 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 ever. As long as you live, as long as you are aware and conscious, whether you're in this body or a spirit body, it doesn't matter. It does not matter at all. So, all the things that ever happened to you in terms of losing, in terms of not winning, in terms of not getting what you wanted, in terms of not reaching the goal, in terms of not winning the prize, whatever it is, there is a lesson in all of that. And it is your responsibility and duty to yourself to recognize this. Because if you don't recognize this, whatever you're experiencing, whatever losses you experience will continue to happen. And let me tell you, you can push on and push on and push on and use your willpower and use your brain and try to figure out how to circumvent the law of attraction. You can do all of these things, but at the end of the day, it will be taken away if you do not learn the lesson that was being given to you at the time that it was being given to you. I saw a article of Kevin Hart, and it said Kevin Hart shared an emotional video or something, and he was trying to walk again or something like that because he was in a car accident not that long ago, and something happened to his back or spine or something like that. And so he's trying to relearn how to do things. And the thing is, everything that happened to him, see, he didn't come from a place of having. He came from a place of having nothing. And he pushed hard and learned the ways of the world and learned the ways of entertainment industry. And he pushed and pushed and pushed. And he knew what to say and what not to say. And he pushed and pushed and pushed. And he got it. He got the recognition. He pushed forward and he got the money. He got the jobs. He got the fame. He got all of it. And then all of a sudden, this happened. This happened. And so all that he worked for came to a complete halt. He could no longer participate in the things that he was participating in. And the reason why this happened is because there was something he was not seeing as it was happening. There were so many signs, so many lessons, so many gifts, and he threw them away each and every time. And because of that, and because he was not only did he throw it away, but, hold on a sec. Not only did he throw it away, but what was I going to say? I was getting distracted and forget. Not only did he throw it away, but he was not even on a path to learn and to recognize and to better himself. Not better himself from the perspective of man, because he was doing that. He was doing everything right. He was bettering himself. He was getting the house and getting the cars and getting the money and getting the fame and getting the recognition and getting. But he wasn't getting it on a soul level. He wasn't getting it on a soul level. He was not on a path. He was granted all these things, but he was not on a path that would allow him to maintain, sustain that which he has achieved. And right now, he's losing. And so you have to learn how to lose. Meaning you have to accept what has happened. Why can't you move forward anymore? Why was your career brought to a halt? Why was life brought to a halt? It wasn't just his career. Life was brought to a halt. He needs people to assist him with daily things. Every day, just ordinary things that we take for granted. He has to have assistance with all of this. You know, the person who actually posted the post that I was referring to, she's about finances and money. And she posts things about, you know, make the money, get the dollar, get this, get that. And it's all financial. I understand that we need those things, and those things are needed in order to enjoy some of the things that we would like to enjoy. Like, I get that. But it cannot be the reason. It cannot be the reason for living. Money is not the reason for living. Love and truth and compassion and understanding, that's the reason for living. To have all these things embedded within you, to have these things embedded within you so much to where you exude it at all times. And the other things just come. You don't have to work hard for it. You don't have to manipulate. You don't have to bob and weave. You don't have to look at what people are accepting and not accepting and move accordingly. You don't have to do any of that. You only have to do those things when you don't have the love within your soul that would automatically attract those things. That's the only time you have to really push and use your willpower. Otherwise, it just happens. You just enjoy it. It just shows up. It just shows up. And the thing is, you know, it's so interesting. People think, you know, you get money and, you know, you get money and everything's great. Life is great. You're on track. And a lot of New Age people will say, hey, it's the law of attraction. And, you know, the universe is in your favor, because they're focused on the same thing too. They're focused on living life in a manner which money, finance, abundance, they call it abundance, is great within your life. Money is the foundation. Law of attraction is the reason why, or money is the reason why you follow law of attraction, so you can have abundance. You can't practice law of attraction to get abundance. You just live life. You live in love. You live in truth. And the law of attraction is automatically working, whether you're consciously participating in it or not. It's always working. Okay, we're gonna come in right here. It's always working. Whether you're aware of it or not, it will continue. And it's a beautiful thing, because you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to practice the law of attraction. Just live life. Just live life. My life has changed. Things around me have changed in ways that I didn't think they would at one point. But I just stopped reacting. I stopped trying to control and force things. And I just started speaking truth, living in truth, making sure that I had understanding so that I could have compassion. And all of it took humility. I had to start looking at myself. That's the first thing that I had to do. And when I started doing it, things started to change. Without me having to plot, without me having to scheme and plan and manipulate and do all kinds of things, I didn't have to do that. And let me tell you, things are people, because I had more issues with people, because people were the things who were doing things to me, which were creating the events in my life. Understand that, people in your life are a cooperative component to bring you the events that are happening. And so what happened is the universe started removing people from doing things that would create the events in my life that were painful, that were hurtful, that were non-productive, that were negative. They started to just drop off like flies. And not only did they drop off like flies, what happened was they started to experience things that they were doing to me and other people. And it was coming down hard, and I was sitting back and watching it. I was like, Jesus, like, wow, like, I just thought, this is sad. Everything that was being done to other people by them started to happen to them. And then before you know it, they were removed. And that's how you control the universe. That's how you control the universe. We are here to control the universe, but not with the mind, with the soul. With the contents of your soul, you can control the universe. With the contents within your soul, you can control that which dwells within the mind. You can't control the universe with your mind. You control the universe with your soul. And brings that which you desire, which dwells within your mind and in your soul. Once those things are in alignment with one another, it manifests. You have darkness within your soul. You have dark thoughts. Guess what manifests? You have love within your soul, love within your mind.
There's a disabled vehicle ahead.
It manifests. That's what I've learned. And it works. And once you get this, it's effortless. Effortless. You do nothing, just sit back and enjoy the fruits of no labor. Enjoy the fruits of no labor. Wow. So anytime you have an experience where you feel like you lost, you haven't lost anything. There's a lesson in that. There's a reason why you don't have what you desired. And sometimes it's for your own good, and you don't see it. You can't see it just yet. Sometimes it can be detrimental. Sometimes you can desire someone, and you're like, oh, I really like this person, not knowing that they could be a person who desires to harm others, who desires to harm you. You know, there are many crazy, sick people out there. And if it's not in alignment, if their soul is not in alignment with your soul, then it can't happen. But if it is in alignment, you will have it. The thing is, and this is why you cannot depend on the mind. The mind oftentimes misleads you. Oh, look, you got these Audis racing one another. Old Audi versus new Audi. Ooh, all these cars. My gosh. Oh, I don't think this is going to work for me. I didn't think I left this late. I really didn't think I left this late. But I guess I did. Yes, I did. So, what do we do when we do this right here? Boom! Just like that. I know it's not the most loving thing to do, but I had to do it or else I had to go all the way around. And this lady was like on her phone or something, not paying attention, so she just left it wide open for me. The universe was like, look! I don't know if that's true, but it sounds funny. Anyway, there are many crazy people out there. You know, I know someone who was sexually abused as a child, and they ended up marrying a pedophile who molested their own children. And that's a law of attraction. That is a soul attracting a soul that could bring to fruition and manifest that which dwelled within that person's soul. That's what happens. And then there are those who like someone and think they're really cool, and then they find out they're a creep, that they're crazy into all kinds of weird stuff. But that didn't change the mind's desire. Oh, the beauty of the person, how beautiful or handsome this person is, how much money they have, what kind of job they have. The soul does not see those things. The mind does. And sometimes the mind is not in alignment, or actually most times actually it is. The mind is in alignment with the soul, because the soul is dark. If the soul is dark, the mind is dark. And the mind is dark, the soul is dark. They are one and the same. And sometimes it's, you know, people say, oh, you know, they make bad decisions, but they have a good soul. No, not true. If they made loving decisions with their mind, it's because they make loving decisions with their soul. Now, I'm not talking about people who are lying. I'm talking about people who are authentic. Meaning, I'm not talking about the people who will do things that look loving, that look right, that look like they're a humanitarian. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people who live what they feel. Most people live what they feel, which is why people get in trouble. This is why you do not have good people, or I should say, you do not have souls with love doing unloving things. You don't have that. You have souls that are unloving, that have a lot of degradation, doing unloving things. Your soul and your mind are in alignment with one another all the time. But it's this fear of what people will think or may think that alters that. This is why people present the facade. The facade is nothing more than a person hiding the true contents of their soul. That's what a facade is. A facade is someone who is living in a manner that will hide the true contents of their soul. That's what it is. So when I say facade, that's what I mean by that. What do you think a lie is? It's a facade. What are you lying about? The true contents of your soul. Most people lie about how they feel. Most people lie about the things that they do because what they feel in their soul and what they do based on what's within their soul, they know that it's not people don't approve of it. And they're trying to hide it. Which is why they lie. Which is why they create the facade. That's all that is. Are you broke and you hate being broke? How do you cover that up? Talk about finances. You make it look like you know what you're talking about in terms of finances, and people believe that you're good at what you do and you have finances. That's the facade. Then you have those who truly hold on a sec, there's a lot of stuff going on here. Then you have people who speak from the soul, and there isn't any ulterior motives. There's no reason to, there's no desire for a facade. There's no reason for a facade. This is why when I make my videos, I talk about the things that are truthful and loving, but I also talk about the things that the challenges that I face, the things that I need to work on, the emotional injuries that are present within me, because I'm not trying to create a facade. I'm trying to share the truth, but at the same time show that I'm not perfect and I'm not claiming to be perfect. And I do that by sharing my life. That's why I share examples of my life, because I'm not trying to present something where I'm saying I am the expert in this. Like I said, it's one thing to speak truth, but it's another thing to live truth. And it's very important to me that I never lose sight of that. Because once you lose sight of that, you're in trouble. You're in trouble, because then you start losing focus. You start losing sight of what is really important, which is the truth. These people, they want to, there's a crosswalk. People would stop for you, but you don't want to do that, which is only a few feet away. I don't know what's going on with these people. He wants a jaywalk, but there's a crosswalk just a few feet away. So anyway, that's what I wanted to say. So, be mindful. It's not a loss. Some of you may go through a divorce, and you may be afraid of going. Some of you may need to get one, may need to separate from the person that you're with, and you're afraid of that. And because you think, a lot of people think, I've invested so much time in this marriage, I don't want to lose all that I have invested. I don't want to lose all the time. I don't want to lose all the energy. I don't want to lose what I have built. But understand, if your life is miserable in the marriage, then you have not built anything that is super great. You haven't even built anything that is great, because it's falling apart. And you're doing your best to maintain it. And this is the resistance. Accept the loss. Accept losing. Accept it. Learn to lose. That's how I started this video. Learn to lose. Because when you understand what that really means, you're not losing anything. There is no such thing as loss. It's only gaining. Gaining. From whatever perspective you're coming from, there is only gaining. There is gaining when you succeed, and there's gaining when you have this thing called loss. Because in that loss, if you accept it, there's a lesson to help you be greater than you were. That's the whole point. So if this marriage, say, I'm just talking about marriages in this moment, but if this marriage fails, and you understand why it failed, then it gives you an opportunity to create another one that will work. So if someone is mistreating you, abusing you, treating you badly, and you learn to love yourself, and you understand that in order to love yourself, you have to leave, because you understand that if you love yourself, you wouldn't allow anybody to abuse you, control you, use you. If you can understand this, then you're winning. There is no loss. The universe has presented something, because understand, there are many people who are in relationships and they are very abusive. And within these relationships that are abusive, people stay in them for long periods of time and they don't question it. They're just like, this is just the way relationships are. They accept it. They accept it. But once you decide, you know what, this isn't right, I don't like feeling like this, that's the gift. That's the gift that you have been given so you can change and improve yourself, to improve your experiences. That's the gift. But most people will see it as a loss. How come you didn't make the marriage work? What did I do wrong to not make the marriage work? If you are part of it, and you are part of it, because as long as you're being abused, you are part of it because you're there. A lot of people who, I don't want to say a lot, but there are people who cannot stand me. And I have to understand why that is. But that doesn't mean I have to stand by and be abused by those people. You see? It's my fault if I stay. I'm in alignment with that if I stay. I'm in agreement with that if I stay. But if I leave, because I know I'm not supposed to be treated like this, and I don't want to be treated like this, I start loving myself. And it's not that I lost a friendship or a partner or a spouse. I've gained a sense of self. I've gained love. I've gained truth. I've gained integrity. You're not losing anything. There's no loss. Even when you give up your hold for money. When you give up your hold for money, the world opens up. It opens up. You can experience joy and happiness. But when you're tied to it, and you're using both hands to grab onto it and hold on to it, you're not free. You're not free at all. Because your whole focus is money, 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 money. How many miserable people do you look? Just look at reality shows. Most of these reality shows are people who have money, and look how they act. Look at all these wealthy people that, you know, wealthy people, rich people have a tendency to hide the true pain that they experience. Do you know why? The real reason, the true reason why rich people hide their painful life is because they want other people to look at what they've achieved and convey to them, wait, am I going 110? Am I going, oh, I think I was supposed to go over there. Well, too late because I'm over here. We'll just stay here. They want to convey to other people that which they risked and sacrificed is worth the money that they have. Meaning, we have money, we worked hard, we went to school, we did this, and it's all worth it. Meanwhile, homegirl who has the multi-million-dollar house is being beaten by her husband. Husband is probably cheating with someone else, or cheating on the wife with someone else. Look, people, let me tell you. I don't know. You know, some people believe the stuff that goes on in the movies. Sometimes you need to believe the stuff that goes on in the movies. If you know what I mean. If you know what I mean. You know, everything that we see, everything that we experience, whether it's real life or in a movie, because understand that if you're looking at a movie, you are experiencing it in real life. You are having the experience. Understand that nobody can create that which does not dwell within them. If you have a vision, it's because that vision dwells within you. You're able to make that manifest. I see why I should have gotten on the 110 instead of the 10. Anyway, I'm tired. I'm tired. I want some coffee. So anyway, that's that. I'll just leave it there. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. And oh shoot, I have to watch a video for this BLS training, basic life skills, I think it's called. You know, CPR stuff. And the guy gave us a assignment, and it was to watch a YouTube video. So let me turn that thing on and do that before I get to the office. You guys, like I said, have a wonderful week, and I'll talk to you guys later. All right, bye now.